Hey everybody, this is Brad from Hair the Dogcast. This episode was recorded live at Midwest Gaming Classic 2022 here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hair of the Dogcast is a proud member of the HyperX Podcast Network. For other amazing shows, check out podcast.hyperx.com. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Midwest Gaming Classic 2022. We are Hair of the Dogcast. We have reached the end of our run here at the bonus stage presented by Hair of the Dogcast and Premium Edition Games. As custom, we like to end every Midwest Gaming Classic with a live taping of our actual podcast, Hair of the Dogcast, a podcast about beer and video games and beer straight out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Everybody, Milwaukee.
Who likes Milwaukee? Yeah. Let's give it up for Milwaukee. All right, I'm one here, host. My name's Tom. Who is here? Who's next to me? Who's this fine fellow in this very bright shirt?
You might know me. I'm Josh. I have a bright shirt on. So you know I'm here, and I stick out, and me, right?
He's here.
Dylan.
Get used to it.
Who are you?
It's me. It's me, Dylan. The
gotcha.
Juniper Jester, the Quinine Cowboy, the Gin Genie.
The Scoresman.
The Pud Don.
Putt pass.
Yes, if you haven't yet, you have to check out Dylan and Jeff Wittenhagen's morning show from day 2 at MGC.
Oh, that was so fun.
It was like the morning zoo.
Yes.
It was great. Next to the amazing Dylan.
Yeah, me. I'm Tyler.
Tyler.
Yep.
Do you have a nickname? Tyrannosaurus
I
Tyler?
can't. No,
calls
I
himself
can't
the
give
TIE
myself
fighter.
A nickname.
He's
That's
the
not how that
TIE
works.
guy.
I gotta be given a nickname. I can't just.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. Like you might have a
Just.
you might have a past that we're not.
That's a
aware
deep
of.
cut.
I do not have a nickname. If that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, we're going to give you a nickname.
All right,
That's
just
right.
Sonic.
It's perfect.
And for now, right next to the wonderful Tyler.
Hey everyone, this is Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Big fan of the show.
Hi,
Yeah.
Brad.
I heard.
Glad to have you.
Great editor.
The full Dogcast is in full effect today, and it's great to be here with you guys. It's been a while. So let's do a quick recap of our favorite things of Midwest Gaming Classic 2022. Though it did not snow, there was no
That was
crazy
definitely one of my
blizzard.
favorite things.
There was no
So
snow.
thank you, weather gods. Josh, if you had to pick 7 things.
7?
Just kidding. No, if you have to
That's
pick
egregious.
one, maybe a runner-up. What were the coolest things that you experienced this year at Midwest Gaming Classic?
We met a lot of cool people. Actually, we didn't. It was just meeting everyone, new folks, and I actually played Steel Battalion this time.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
hard.
That's a lifelong goal of yours.
Yeah, it was a
I
goal,
thought.
and I probably won't go back.
I heard all you have to do is press the buttons that light up.
Is that what it is?
There's more
There's
to
like
that.
4,000 buttons to that.
Yeah, there's
thing.
like
I know.
4,000 buttons, and yeah, I'd be into it if I knew I had 2 hours to spend on it. I'm into that.
That's it? Just
But-
2 hours?
I mean, you need some time to play it.
Right. Yeah.
I actually bought Steel Battalion back in the day. I owned it. It was a $200 purchase.
Yeah.
I hooked it up, brought a table into my bedroom because you actually need one.
yeah.
And I played it for
Yeah.
5 minutes, didn't understand a thing, put it away and sold it on eBay a year later and made a profit.
Wow.
I still don't understand it. It's so difficult. There's so many buttons, and it is.
I think it's something you can pick up pretty quickly. It's just you need time and like being
That's
here.
that's some real quitter energy,
Yeah.
Brad. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not 400 hours of Elden
I don't
Ring.
know about this. Yeah, it might have been your favorite game of all time. Famously, when you started Bloodborne, you weren't into it.
No, just Sonic.
Yeah. Dylan.
Okay.
Screw you.
All right, Josh. That Steel Battalion.
Not my top. But
Not your top.
I got to do it finally.
Yes.
All right.
Just playing games. Cactus Canyon's really cool.
The pinball?
Yeah, the
that
pin.
one's actually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole event in general.
Yeah.
Meeting cool gamers like yourself.
Lots of cool people. This
Yeah.
has been they haven't, posted the numbers. The convention's still going on right now, but I have a feeling that it has been pretty successful, just by all accounts, people I was talking
Yeah.
to.
Absolutely.
Dylan, how about you? Any highlight?
So there's a little like Rocky Horse character up on the 3rd floor, and it looks exactly like Tom when he's smiling, and that's my favorite thing of the entire.
That's your highlight?
Oh yeah,
Man.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I just
Setting
look
the bar low.
I just keep looking at it and laughing.
It
It
makes
looks
him
really
very
good.
happy.
Okay. Well,
It
I'm
does
glad
make
it
me
brought you
happy.
joy. And I wouldn't disagree that there wasn't a little bit of resemblance, even though I hate you for sending that picture to my girlfriend. Thank you.
Oh, you mean Kitty, my new best friend?
Yes. Yep. I'm going to force a wedge between you two. I swear to God. Tyler, man. This is your first Midwest Gaming Classic?
Yeah, this is my first one, and I think we set the bar just super high because I've had a blast the entire time I've been here. Between
Yeah.
the pinball, I mean, I just talked to Warren Davis.
Yeah.
Like, that was sick. That man made Cubert. I can barely make it out of bed in the morning. Like, that dude is, that's awesome. Between that,
Legend, yeah.
Yeah.
Lords of the Trident last night was sick.
That
Yes,
was
that
awesome.
one was
That was
might have been
awesome.
My second. Yeah.
He stabbed me with his sword when he jumped off
Yeah, he
stage.
chopped off my
Yeah.
wrist.
Yeah, he got me too, but I healed up overnight, and
Right.
besides a little bit of a hangover,
It's
I'm
the
doing
healing
great.
power of music, man.
Right.
Yeah, your Wolverine powers.
Power
too,
of
you know.
metal.
Yeah. And this is obviously your first Midwest Gaming Classic, also first time podcasting at a convention.
Yeah, that's not frightening or terrifying at all.
So your experiences with interviewing or at least doing live podcasts versus in the studio podcast, how has that been?
It's a lot different. Here, I don't have a magical man with a beard that makes me sound real good.
Or do you?
I gotta kind of edit myself
Yeah.
live. I also can't swear as often, which is an active, like I
don't
actively
swear.
have to not do that.
It's
This is a
tough.
wholesome Christian.
Listen to our Gaming
podcast.
Off the Grid video. Yes. We enacted a full no swear policy after that one, but that was a lot of fun.
I mean,
Wes and
it was
Rob.
fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's all
these
good.
kids haven't heard before.
Okay. Brad, since you're at the end there, go ahead and I want to know.
Now, there were many cool things.
I think I know this one.
Mine isn't quite as cool as the little kid's amusement toy upstairs that looked like Tom. That is definitely the highlight for everyone. But highlight is making friends with Kevin Bayliss and David Wise.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Two absolute legends and icons, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite musicians of all time in David Wise. So it's just amazing that they were generous with their time and they wanted to hang out with us, which like you clearly don't know us. But yeah.
They
And
drank our beer.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
That's how you earn
And
respect
actually
around
felt
here.
pangs of guilt.
You can always apologize in a British accent and we'll give you beer. It's okay.
Yeah. You can say anything to me in a British accent. You can have everything.
Yeah, that and just seeing all of our friends we haven't seen in a long time. It's great. You know, always seeing the Mortal Kombat people, seeing Whit and Hagen,
Yep.
seeing Kits Row, seeing all these great people. It's a family, and it's good. It's always good to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How about you, Tom? What was your highlight?
I think my highlight was actually running the stage this year. Our setup has leveled up, definitely. So shout out to Dan Lucen and Gary Heil.
Dude, you're such a gamer with all this like lore, like this like like this banter. Like level up. We leveled up.
We leveled up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like a video game.
Our stage setup is way more professional this year. We're actually we're in an actual hall. It's been fantastic, and
We're not playing to one person falling asleep drinking too many Blue Moons.
not
Anybody
not
find
this
out
year.
what happened to that guy?
No, but
We
he's
found
my
him
favorite
sleeping in a
person.
hallway upstairs. We saw him.
Yeah, it's
All the
right
Blue
above
Moons
us.
Still?
He's still doing his
No,
thing.
but
Still
he's
Blue Moon here.
he's still my favorite person on the entire planet.
Yeah, and also seeing some of our friends who were not able to make it to the last MGC in November.
Yeah.
This one feels like a fully formed, like
It is, yeah.
Midwest Gaming Classic is officially back on. So that was great to experience, and still experiencing it right
Well,
now.
we're still sharing our space with the gymnastics crew.
We are, yes.
Also,
Together.
just want to
Yeah,
mention
together.
Riggs, Metal Jesus, Norm Caruso, Pat the NES Punk,
Everybody.
Korlick,
Adam Hancock,
Benny Heck.
John Hancock, Limited Run Games.
He's still alive? Limited run games.
No, like
Hancock.
the Jordan Davis, so good catching up
Yeah.
with him. Just everybody. I mean,
MK crew again.
Game Dad.
Oh yeah.
I love Chris.
So just shouting out basically everybody who attended the con this year.
Joining me on stage, we have David Wise, the composer for so many wonderful games, the Donkey Kong Country series, Battletoads,
Diddy Kong Racing,
Star
Fox Adventures, Snake Pass, worked on Ukulele, lots of others, one or two.
an absolute legend. And we also have Kevin Bayliss.
Hello.
Worked for Rare, designed Diddy Kong, did the redesign for Donkey Kong, made so many wonderful games. What are some of your favorite highlights from your career?
Working on Killer Instinct and Diddy Kong Racing and Battletoads, and I think I really enjoyed working on Donkey Kong Country.
So, David, how did you get into working with video game music? Was that's a field you wanted to get into, or?
No, not at all. It was all, I mean, I didn't even know what video games were. The closest I'd got to video games at that point was when my father brought home an Atari console and it had ping pong on it.
Yeah.
That's what I knew about video games.
Terrible music in that game.
Well, yes. It's very
Good sound effects, though, yeah.
So, I was working in a music shop. It was the 80s, and I was selling... I started selling drums, and then some guys from Yamaha came in. They had this computer called a Yamaha CSX or something like that. And they wanted some people to learn how to sell it. And I was upstairs on the drums. I wasn't really interested because my father was really big into computers, and, there was that kind of father-son thing where I wasn't really bothered. But the guys from Yamaha came in about 3 months later. We hadn't sold one, and the boss who was there, he said, "Look, if somebody learns how to use this, you can have an extra day off a week." So I was sold. So I took the unit home, learned how to program it, and I got it hooked up. It uses this thing called MIDI, which kind of goes into the back of the computer and goes into your keyboards, so it can play everything for you. So I'd set it up, and we were using Duran Duran songs and We Close Our Eyes kind of songs, and
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s, and they used to fly at the shop. I'd sell several of these a day, and back then I was selling £10,000 worth of computers a day, which is crazy, really. And Tim and Chris had come in, and they wanted a demonstration, so I'd finished it, and I said, "I'm sorry, I haven't got any more songs you might recognise." I said, "I've just got a few of my own," so I very gingerly played these songs to them. And Chris turned around to Tim and he said, "Monsters." And I was... So they said, "We've got an office." I thought, I've sold another one. We went upstairs. They bought all of the equipment that I demonstrated to them and offered me a job. And that's how I got into video games.
How did the creative process with Nintendo start? To get the IP for Donkey Kong, that's a huge deal. Was there a bunch of suits that came in and said, "You can have the Kong"?
Pretty much, yes. We received a fax. In a nutshell, I was working on... I was experimenting with some graphics for using the silicon graphics machines that we've been given. We were just experimenting with all this new technology. And we needed something as a game, as a sort of a test. And so I'd started working on a fighting game. But we had a visit scheduled from Nintendo. Nintendo came along and they took a look at the fighting game. And to cut a long story short, after seeing it, decided that we were going to be making their next big project, and they invested fully in us and supplied us with lots of new machines, and we got on down to business making monkeys.
Also, you have to remember at that point, everything up to that point had been 2D. So the fact that Kev had been working on these 3D rendered graphics, the difference was instead of seeing a character, suddenly on screen you've got a character. It looked as though you could put your hand in and take out this 3D character. It was that different. It was groundbreaking stuff, and
especially on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, absolutely. So once you saw that, it was pretty much deal done at that point.
Was there a lot of limitations on what you could do with Donkey Kong? Because you did the redesign. Did they say you can do this and not that, or did they turn any of your ideas down?
They gave me pretty much free run.
That's amazing.
I didn't really realize the power that I'd been given, and I think looking back now, because I was so young when I did that, I could probably have designed him in many different ways that I didn't even go down the routes of exploring. But I tried to keep the character relatively compact because I was still thinking along the lines of NES and the way that the drawbacks and technical limitations of the system worked. And so I wanted to make it work and work well with a platform game. But aesthetically, I think I could have designed it in many different ways, but we spent a fair amount of time going up with a few of us were actually coming up with ideas, but it was given to me to actually come up with a final design and then build something, and so we settled on the one that you see today, which is basically a Battletoad, and every time I ever draw eyes, I always draw these eyes that look like two bananas anyway, and that's basically any character I ever draw.
That's bananas.
They look like that. fruit.
David, with making the music for Donkey Kong Country, what was that process like? Was it you hidden in a cowshed for a couple weeks?
In fact, I was in that cowshed for a whole year or more.
It took about a year to do the whole soundtrack.
It did, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. When you see us composing now, we've got computers which have masses of SSDs in there and tons of RAM, and we've got a keyboard, and it's comparatively easy. But back then, everything was typed in, so we'd have to transcribe it into code.
Oh, yeah.
And code the whole thing. And we had a fantastically small amount of memory. We had 64K, which is about 400 milliseconds at CD quality. So that is tiny. It's like somebody saying hello, but only getting as far as the first L. So it's that short amount of time. And it took a lot of technical stuff to try and get samples down and code it into binary and put in the memory so that it would be small enough. And that's where a lot of the work went, trying to compress everything into the actual memory that we had available. And it was all typed in. It takes a lot of time, but the reason we typed it in because it saved a lot of memory. So the more memory we had, the more sounds we could have.
Yeah.
So it was a year in the cowshed at Rare.
So your new project, Salamandos, can you tell us a little bit about it's not a video game yet. You want it to be a video game.
Yeah, we're kind of negotiating at the moment. We want to take it in the area of a video game, but the main purpose was we were doing shows like this over in Europe and places, and a lot of people were asking us to sign stuff, and then they wanted to buy stuff, but we couldn't actually sell them anything because it wasn't our IP to sell. So that was wrong. So I was talking to Kevin and saying we really need our own kind of concept that we can call our own, and then we can sell that freely, and people can support us doing it. And the idea really was to take the soundtracks that I was working on and make it into something more tangible. So this is where Kev came in, and we started making this digital comic that you can buy online over at salamandos.com.
I think for me, I've been Dave's friend for a long time now. We've obviously 30 years or so known each other in the video game industry. But we always said we're missing a trick here, and we really do need to do something together. And we've done a lot of sort of live performances with covers bands and writing bits of music and stuff. So we like to perform. And when we get the chance to, and we did MagFest about 2 years ago before the whole lockdown. And we wanted to make sure that we'd got something that we could perform and enjoy and give everybody some kind of... it was like a celebration of our 60 years between us in the industry.
Exactly.
That sort of encompasses everything and brings a whole... what we're all about at Rare, the music and the graphics of that style.
Yeah, and also it draws on our nostalgia because when we started, it was mid-80s, wasn't it?
Yes.
And so this is where Salamandos comes in. It's like, I suppose, Spielberg-inspired films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going.
Because obviously there's a whole story, and we've got a soundtrack that we're working on with that. So I'd love it to be a musical stage production, Salamandos the show.
I volunteer to be one of the characters if you need someone.
Well, we've got your numbers, so
yeah.
But I just want to be on stage singing Salamandos songs dressed as a huge salamander. And so hopefully it'll be a lot more than just a visual show on a stage. It'll be a video game, a movie, a cartoon, and everything. But we're working with the right people anyway every day, because I still work at Platonic Games.
Yeah.
We produce Ukulele and Impossible Lair, and we've also we've become a publisher now, and so we've got several other games that you can also buy from Steam. If you check out Platonic Games, you can see all the titles that we've produced. But we're working with this network of people all the time, so who knows what's going to happen with it.
So next year, we're going to have the musical and the very important gamer after party.
Yes.
That sounds great.
I'll bring a salamander costume and we'll just wing it.
And Steven Spielberg will probably be here too then, talking about the whole the movie concept.
And also I think there'll be lots of opportunities for cosplay for that one as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be giving prizes for costumes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. I've already sorted mine out. It's a bit risque, but,
We are here with Adam Korlick. He's been on the cast before.
I was.
If you don't know him, check out his YouTube channel. But we're here to demonstrate, talk about the Saturn Pluto.
There are 2 of these in existence.
So it's pretty high on the list.
Yes. So I talked to people at Sega. They told me they made 6 originally. They also made like a white mock-up one, which you can actually see that one in reality. It exists in the National Video Game Museum in Arlington. No, it's Frisco, Texas, near Dallas. But that one doesn't function, and it's like 8 times the weight of this one.
Really?
Yes, but of the other 6, like the real ones, they told me they destroyed 4 of them. They sent the final unit to Sega of Japan's offices for approval, where the project was denied, and one of them mysteriously vanished out of the office in California. This one. This one appeared in a flea market in Ceres, California in 1999, where a buddy of mine named Roger Vega, who is still the owner of it, he bought it as like a middle school student, thinking it was a Japanese Saturn because he just saw the Sega Saturn logo. He's like, oh, that must be what Saturns look like in Japan. And the guy who was selling it was very clearly a former Sega employee, because not only was he selling this, he was selling like Dreamcast development kits and, according to Roger, all this sort of stuff.
Really?
And the guy wanted $5 for this. And Roger offered him $3, and the dude took it.
He should have took 5, right?
I know. Roger should have given him the full 5, but he didn't. So then Roger gets it back home. He tries to play Japanese games on it. They won't boot, and he goes, oh, it's junk. He puts it in a shoebox, forgets about it for basically 2 decades. I eventually met up with him in 2019 in a place in Campbell, California, at a game store called the Retro Fix. The owner of it is a very nice guy named Rudy, who was like, hey, Adam, you're a nerd. Do you know what the Sega Pluto is? And I'm like, yeah, I know all about that. And he's like, okay, the guy who owns that lives like 10 minutes away. You want to see it? And I was like, yeah. And so he comes over with this thing, and Roger lets me tinker with it. I concluded, yeah, dude, the reason it doesn't read Japanese games is because it's region locked to U.S. games. So we put an American game in it. It immediately worked. We were all kind of like, wow, awesome. But it had a couple of problems. The controller port didn't function properly. And see how the thing is down? Yeah, it didn't do that. It always stayed up because there's a white piece of plastic here that held it down. That piece of plastic simply didn't exist. Sega never made it because prototype. So what we did, we took it to Wisconsin's own Ben Heck, who is actually here at this convention. And he decided, okay, yeah, I can fix the controller port. He 3D printed a part to keep that down. He recapped everything. He did a video on all of this. Mm-hmm. And now the Sega Pluto is as complete as it can be.
Why did the Pluto get scrapped?
That's purely speculation. But if you ask me, I would say it's 2 factors. One, it has a built-in modem and a built-in hard drive, like a real hard drive. We bought a duplicate one right here that's the exact same model. But this is a 512 megabyte hard drive, which now, yeah, joke. But in 96, when they were building this, I mean, that's like what PCs had, like upper echelon PCs. So you have to assume this whole thing would have cost like at least $1,000 or something retail. Because the regular Saturn itself was like $300 or whatever retail. It probably would have been ludicrously expensive. I think that's part of it. Internet was very much in its infancy, so that's a big gamble to take. But
so is
also,
that what the goal was?
That's again speculation.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I think that was one factor. The other factor is I think it's better than the regular Saturn as far as its performance capabilities and all that. And honestly, opinion here, pure speculation. They needed Sega of Japan to approve of it because we know Sega of America designed it. And I'm betting Sega of Japan's like, you can't have a better version of the Saturn than us. And it was like, that was probably a realistic factor. So again, we can only speculate, but those would be, I would think, the 2 primary reasons.
Yeah, quite a story of the prototypes and all that. And, you know, who knows what could have, you know. But
yeah, I think price point is really what, honestly, I think is ultimately what killed it. Like if this thing had if this had been the Saturn in North America and had retailed for realistically $400, I don't know how they could have financially done that, but if they had done that, I think we might have been in a very different universe because it would have been interesting if Sega Channel was actually a functional thing and you essentially had Game Pass 30 years earlier.
Oh, I'm way ahead of its time. It might have took over. You know?
Yeah, who knows?
Depending price.
We live in this dimension where that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there are 2 of these. The final one that was sent to Japan, it surfaced in 2013 when a Sega employee died, and they were going through his estate, and they found it. The guy who got it basically was like, "This exists," and Cool. Nobody really knew what to do with it. Then it's when Roger was like, mine exists too. And people went after Roger with pitchforks because he was trying to sell it. And he's like, I don't want anything to do with this. And that's when he put it away again. So it was like this brief time where it surfaced. Eventually, after Ben and I were doing videos on the restoration and all that, the Japanese guy reached out to us. And he was like, we have the only two. We should know each other. And then he said, after like a week after that, he was like, you know what? Thank you for doing the videos. I'm going to sell mine. So he decided he wanted like $2,000 for the other one. That's all he wanted. We thought that was insane. We're like, how are you going to get $2,000 for this thing? For idiots. And he puts it up at Heritage Auctions. They managed to sell it for $84,000. Oh, I've since talked to a couple people, and that was pre-pandemic. So they're like, this one now is the only private one. It's the only one you're ever going to see.
Now.
And now they're thinking like $150K maybe, which means. Yeah, I'm walking around with a Ferrari on my back. I don't know. And so I have to be very careful because this is like Roger's retirement plan.
Favorite Saturn game?
Radiant Silvergun.
Dynamite Deca.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Die Hard Arcade
Do you
in the
have
West.
Just Sonic.
Which one? They didn't really even have a Sonic game.
All of them. Oh, yeah.
That's like the least safe answer you could get for the Saturn.
I didn't have a Sega.
So 3D Blast was like an upgraded version of the Genesis game, which I didn't like anyway.
Just Sonic.
Sonic Jam was good, but it was just the Genesis games. And then there was Sonic R, which famously like 3 people like.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't think I was one of those 3. My cousin had one. I had a Nintendo 64. So when I went over to his place, seeing a Sega was like, wait, what do you got going on here?
You're the aliens. You're the other dimension.
Like, I'm playing Mario. You're playing Sonic. And it was always kind of like a step into the other dimension.
Well, okay, let me tell you, just for your own etiquette, when somebody asks you what your favorite Saturn game is, it's never going to be Sonic.
We have snagged a local and worldwide celebrity for this panel. Oh my gosh, we've been trying to land him for years. Last year. We tried to get you last year. And I think you
Really?
I think you big timed us, but it's okay. It's okay. We won't hold it against
sorry
you.
about that.
Ben Hollywood Heck.
Yes, Ben Heckendorn. Welcome to the Dogcast stage.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we're not going to talk about console modding. I mean, not that you know a lot about that, but...
Well, your previous guest was talking about it in great detail, so we could probably move on to other subjects.
So let's start with a very good or a very apt Wisconsin topic. Cheese curds. I hear you're a bit of a aficionado.
Yes, I always like to describe cheese curds to people who aren't from the Midwest because a lot of times they're very confused by it. They're like, what are cheese curds? And I'm like, well, it's a progenitor of cheese.
They are confusing.
Yeah, but they make cheese everywhere. Do people just not eat the cheese embryos that are cheese curds?
Apparently not, because
it's so weird to me.
We had to explain this to people last night, and also had to explain that there are naked cheese curds, there are breaded cheese curds. You deep fry them, you just can't have them
well, there's
raw.
multiple types of fried cheese curds. So what happens a lot is I'll have people say, oh, I went to Culver's in like Florida or Texas, and I was able to get some cheese curds. And I'm like, yes, but those are Cisco food service cheese curds where they use a breading crumb instead of beer batter, which is completely different.
I'm a total beer batter man. We have any beer batter cheese curd fans in the audience tonight? What?
Oh.
Sir, security.
You better run far.
So I think why they do that with Cisco food service is because they have a thicker breading layer so that the cheese does not leak out into the grease and foul up your fry vat.
Yeah.
It's about 3 millimeters of breadcrumbs, whereas what you really want is a beer battered cheese curd, which is flour and beer.
How many millimeters?
I would say less than 1 because it should be leaking when you eat it. There should be these vestibules of cheese seeping out the sides. And we're probably not going to talk about video games at all.
Juicing and oozing of cheddar.
I mean, are there any cheese curd video games yet? Are there any time? Has Culver's made like a McKids style game?
I mean, I wish they would.
Best cheese curd that you've had? Is there one that tops?
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin is where I live. Northeast of Madison, Wisconsin is a town called Sun Prairie. They have
Highway 16. Woo.
They have a corn boil fest every year. It's like a county fair corn boil. The greasy carny cheese curds at that place, they are the best.
You are also famously a console modder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I guess.
do you have any upcoming projects?
Involving console modding?
Possibly console modding or something adjacent.
There are some repairs that people want me to do. Like I did, what did I do? I fixed that PlayStation Nintendo thing a couple years ago.
Oh, yes.
That people thought was so cool. I did that.
Yeah. I know you did a whole series of episodes on kind of phoenixing the Nintendo PlayStation. I know I watched a few of those.
I think most of the damage to that was done by Terry storing it in his attic for 3 years.
Probably.
Because the damage that was done to the capacitors on it was caused by heat, not by age.
Yeah.
They fail in a different way based on heat versus age. It wasn't quite old enough to have capacitors fail just via time.
Okay.
Usually that's about 30 years, and at the time it was about 25.
I want to say I saw a clip where...
So he cooked it to death.
He did. And it's sad. But you brought it back.
Yep.
And it was a joy to actually see in person. I mean, that lit the world on fire there for a few months. And I think I saw a clip, and I don't know if it was Nintendo PlayStation related, but you're able, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I was hallucinating, but you were able to like smell if a capacitor is bad.
Oh yeah, they have a certain smell.
And
so when they
I'm like, what?
When they smell via, when they fail, when they fail via heat, they smell like a garbage dump. They smell like trash.
Okay.
Like when remember when they had the Atari cartridge auction from the landfill?
Oh, yes.
I bought a couple of them, and then I opened them up, and I was surprised. I didn't expect it would smell like trash, but it did. And I've got them in a shadow box.
It was in the landfill. You wouldn't think.
Well, according to the legend, they covered it with a bunch of concrete, but then, of course, all the trash and the water would seep down into it and permeate it.
You got some like VCSs out of that, or
no? There was cartridges.
The cartridges. Okay.
I bought Asteroids and Star Raiders, and I actually was able to get Asteroids working again.
Can I
finish with one anecdote?
Absolutely.
So we were at a horror convention in August, and we were hanging out with Meatloaf, and I was like, I just got to ask.
Like be Meatloaf?
Yeah, Meatloaf.
Okay.
Yeah, not the food.
Just taking up random.
I was looking at both perspectives,
and I was like,
both great.
So if you go on YouTube, there's this Hallmark channel does this series called The Haunting of Whoever.
Okay.
So they find these celebrities who had to deal with ghosts when they were young, and then they ask them about it, or they take them back to the place where they had a haunting. Like, this was my childhood home when there was a ghost under my bed, blah, blah, blah. Yep. They did one called The Haunting of Meatloaf, and it was like the studio in which they recorded Bat Out of Hell, the first one, apparently was haunted, or maybe it was drugs. So there's.
I'm going to say option B.
You can Google this. It's on YouTube. The Haunting of Meatloaf. And so they take him back to the studio, and he's like trash talking the ghost. I made the number 3 album of all time in this studio. I'm not afraid of you. This is a real thing. It's real. The Haunting of Meatloaf.
You've heard it here. Yeah, check it out. That's a Hallmark show?
Hallmark channel, yeah. So it's like my stepdad would have watched it before he died.
Oh my God, I will.
So we're sitting there, we're hanging out with him, and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, hey, what's the deal with that Haunting of Meatloaf show you did? I asked that, of course, because the thing with celebrities, they don't want to talk about what they actually do.
You didn't even introduce yourself? You're just like,
no,
deal?
this was like 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
But celebrities always want to talk about something else.
Right.
Like if you meet William Shatner, he wants to talk about horses. So anyway, Meatloaf, his eyes get as wide as dinner plates. He's like, oh, that place was super haunted. And so this will take at least 10 minutes. Is that okay?
What's that?
The story.
Hey, go ahead.
His eyes get as wide as dinner plates. And he's like, have you ever walked around New York City? You've probably walked past a ghost. That city is filled with ghosts. So and then I just thought I'd get an amusing anecdote, but no, he just does not stop talking about it for the rest of the time we were hanging out with him. So anyway, his assistant comes up and she's like, Mr. Loaf, your wife.
Call me Meat.
Your table is ready for dinner, sir. He's like, okay. And he keeps talking about ghosts. And like 10 minutes later, sir, your wife is seated at the table for dinner. Okay. And then we're like, oh, hey, Mr. Loaf. We don't want to keep it from your wife because we're thinking, oh, shit, he's going to keep talking about ghosts. He's going to be in the doghouse with his wife. We got to get him out of here before he's in trouble, right? We want Meatloaf to get laid, right? So we do the thing. You probably see it here at the convention. You start walking and talking with the celebrity, right? Yeah. So we're walking and talking him back toward the restaurant escalator, and blah blah blah. And he's still talking about ghosts. And we get to the escalator, and we stop. We stand at the bottom of the escalator, and he's like going up the escalator, and he's still talking down to us like blah 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 ghosts. Right? Have a good evening, Mr. Meatloaf. And then we're like, that was weird. But he was a nice guy.
I bet, yeah. And now he can haunt you.
We have a very special guest. You probably know him from Retronauts, from Limited Run Games, from 1UP, from a million things. You're a popular guy.
There's like a dozen things, probably.
Like a dozen things.
My name has appeared various places. I'm shameless that way.
Yeah, I wish my name appeared as half as many places as yours.
We're not
does.
even counting the bathroom stalls. So don't even want to talk about that.
Jeremy Parish, and today we are going to have a discussion on video games in 1986.
What's really kind of a foundational year for video games? And I really feel 1986 was the year that video games, as we know it now, really, really kind of came into focus. I mean, obviously they existed before that, but when you look back at 1986, there are several console releases and a whole bunch of game releases that still, those are still active properties and concerns going today. And just so much of kind of the things we take for granted were sort of codified in 1986.
Some of the biggest franchises in gaming history born that year.
Right, yeah.
Howard the Duck 2 came out that year.
Atlantis No Nazo.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that one. It almost came to America as Super Pitfall 2, but then I think everyone got cold feet and came to their senses.
Yeah.
So we lucked out. So the NES, you're right, kind of debuted in a soft launch just in like New York City in October 1985. But 1986 was the year where Nintendo was like, oh, okay, cool, this is going to be successful. And retailers said, whoa, that did really well in New York. We wanted none of that.
That was
so
the
NES
robot test,
yes,
right?
Yeah, the test with, Howard Phillips out there in a bow tie and a robot saying, like, look at what I can do if
I'm a
the stars align. But in 1986, the NES went nationwide and, really spread out. And by the end of the year, you could buy it, if you could find it anywhere in the country. And the library started to kind of diversify a lot. And you had that in terms of the Nintendo side of things. On the Sega side of things, the SG-1000 was really getting phased out in Japan in favor of the Mark III. But then the Mark III's counterpart, the Master System, launched in America and really kind of put Sega on the map in terms of, hey, here's a company that, is not just about cool arcade games, but they also make console games. And at the same time, you had Sega making really cool arcade games like Outrun debuted that year.
Yeah.
So, everyone was kind of firing on all cylinders. Even Atari came back. The fun is back, they said, with the new budget-priced version of the 2600, but also the 7800, which was kind of the 2600, but like 3 times as many. It's weird.
Wasn't the 7800 ready a couple years before, and the release got real staggered?
Yeah, so the Atari 7800 was supposed to have launched in 1984, and the market in the U.S. collapsed until Nintendo kind of brought it back, and then Nintendo brought it back. And Atari was like, hey, guess what we've got in a warehouse just sitting around collecting dust. So they rolled out the 7800 and had a bunch of games that had been prepped, very familiar games, but better than you had seen on Atari 2600. So they rolled those out, and it was kind of not an impressive launch, but it was still a pretty good little system. And those are some pretty good versions of games like Xevious and Robotron 2084 and Asteroids, kind of classic arcade games that felt a little dated in 1986. But, for those who were like, I don't know about this company from Japan, Nintendo, there was this comforting American presence at retail again that you could feel good about.
I mean, to this day, my mom will refer to any video game console of any time as a Nintendo. So that's how indelible they are. Yeah.
And, Nintendo was also innovating on the Japanese side in 1986. They launched the Famicom Disk System, which was an expansion for the Japanese, equivalent to the NES. And a bunch of really, really big series debuted on the Disk System. Oh, yeah, you've got a little Disc-Coon, the mascot right there. Yep. So that was kind of a big deal. Let's see, was there anything else? No, those were the kind of the big systems for that year. But, you had Nintendo, Sega, Atari, kind of the big powerhouses, all putting out new hardware that year in every territory. Hardware is just a vessel. It's like, the bread and the video games are the filling for the actual sandwich. Like, it's just, the console's just there to get it to your mouth, basically.
One more question about consoles being the bread that comes to my mouth.
The bread.
I don't know a ton about the difference between the Famicom and then the Disk System. How much more significant was the power of the Disk System compared to the original Famicom?
So the Disk System, when it launched, was actually quite a bit more capable than the Famicom itself. So it had the ability to, it ran on diskettes. So the diskettes had more memory storage capacity than cartridges at the time, so the games could be much bigger. It had the ability to, obviously it was magnetic media, so you could write save data and do customization to the disks. And it also had an additional sound channel. Plus, I believe the RAM expansion pack that plugged into the cartridge just allowed you to load more into memory at once. But the thing with the disk system is that it never came to the US because by the time it would have come to the US, it was obsolete because new cartridges came out that had more memory. And they had, the memory mappers so they could load more into memory, just like with the disk system. So by the time the US really kind of got all in on Nintendo, cartridges were actually way more capable than the disk system. So it was kind of pointless here. And, you see a lot of games that debuted on disk system in 1986 that came to NES on cartridge and didn't really lose too much in translation. Like Castlevania debuted on the disk system at the end of 1986, and the only thing we lost was the ability to save progress, which, that game's hard. So it would have been nice to be able to just load up and be at Dracula anytime you want. But
I didn't know that they could save progress. That makes me
they can.
A little
they could.
Frustrated. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's only a 6-level game. So if you were like me and you owned it and you didn't own a lot else, you just kept playing it until you could finish it.
Absolutely.
Some games were hit harder by that, like the game Section Z. I don't know if you know that.
I've heard of it, never played it.
It's a very complex maze game, kind of like if Metroid were a shooter. Like a linear, it's great, but it's really hard and it's really big and confusing. And the thing is, the Japanese version of it, you could save progress after you got to the 3 checkpoints throughout the game, and then just load up from that point with all your your power boosts and everything preserved. Whereas every time you played it in the US, you had to start from 0. So it was really hard.
Not even
to
a
beat
password system?
No, nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing. Capcom hate you.
Yeah,
hate you so much.
They sure did.
If you had to choose one of the worst years for video games, what comes to mind?
Actually, earlier this year, we did a podcast on looking back at 2002. That might be it.
Yeah.
That was dire. There wasn't a lot of great stuff that happened in 2002. It was kind of like, the PS2 and Xbox and GameCube had all launched, but people were still kind of wrapping their heads around how much more elaborate and complex games had to be to work on those systems. So you got a few classics like, Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Metroid Prime. But for the most part, it was kind of people fumbling around. And then 2003, they'd kind of get their act together and, that generation would take off in earnest. 2002 was rough.
Jeremy, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know you're a busy
absolutely.
guy here.
I have one question from our a friend of ours from the Discord wanted me to ask you if you would sing the One Up Show theme song.
I will not, actually.
these were just some of the highlights from some of our panels at Midwest Gaming Classic. For the full extended panel, you can find them on YouTube or on our podcast here, wherever you're listening to. And there are many more panels as well. Lots of great guests. Thanks to everybody who took the time to come and talk with us. And we're going to hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network. And then we're going to be back to do our terrible $10 challenge. So we'll see you in a sec.
Explode When Defeated presents something really neat and full of meat.
Those children aren't going to protect themselves in a brand new podcast series about everyone's favorite giant reptile.
Godzilla?
No, we already did that one.
Rodan?
No, we did that one too.
Gorgo?
Gamera. We're talking about Gamera.
From turtles to medieval samurai golems on our new series, Demolition Daiei.
Only on the HyperX Podcast Network.
Us. We're the Spirit Hunters, and we're a show that treats Hunter x Hunter and Yu Hakusho's author as the center of the universe. Some weeks we do linguistic analysis. The Chinese meaning of this character is to smelt or refine, but so the changed meaning in Japanese it means to temper. Other times, we get absolutely smashed.
So we take one shot every time. Yusuke uses the ray gun. 1 hour later.
This is the least coherent episode. Sarah,
I think your pirate is haunted.
Check us out at the HyperX Podcast Network.
Make room for huge plays with the HyperX Alloy Origin 65 mechanical gaming keyboard and the Pulsefire Haste wireless mouse. The Alloy Origin 65 has a functionally compact form factor, keeping the arrow keys while ditching the numpad and the F keys. The Pulsefire Haste is the lightest wireless mouse from HyperX, featuring a robust connection and the precision you need to click heads. The Alloy Origin 65 and Pulsefire Haste wireless, a terrific twosome to keep your setup clean and clutter-free.
So, well, like I said, we've reached the end. This is our last panel recording.
Don't sound so sad, Tom.
I know. I am sad, actually.
Okay.
I actually feel a lot better than I did last year. Last year I had no voice, and I was ready to just roll up and curl up and take a nap for a month.
You're also kind of a
Now I just want to take a
control
nap for like a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
You can
so
do
I'm
that.
good. So last year, I think we started a new a ritual, at least.
Oh boy!
For the our final podcast of Midwest Gaming Classics going forward, and that is, all of us had a challenge to find the weirdest thing we could for $10 or less on the floor, and we are going to have this contest.
Okay.
And the winner gets to pack up everything.
With the losers.
With the losers, yeah. So congratulations. But we had a lot of fun last year. I believe Dom, who is not here, this MGC, he won with the
God
Wii
rest his
game.
soul.
Imagine Party Babies. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's...
Was it Party Babies one?
I think Party
Imagine
Babies
it was
won.
Imagine Party Babies. It became a little bit of a meme between all of us.
Yeah. So is our judge on deck?
What's that?
Is there?
She had to step away.
Okay.
I didn't expect it so quick.
Oh,
it's fine.
Nobody ever
If it
does.
ain't quick,
Yeah.
it ain't in.
Okay.
But we're gonna present. We're gonna present our.
Yeah, we got...
Yeah,
We'll have Tony do it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Come on, Tony.
Oh, she's on her way. The judge
Yeah.
is here.
Oh, there she is.
Maybe we
Okay.
can have them
All
work
right, sweet.
together.
Co-judges. Yes.
The honorable Judge Rachel has arrived.
And Vice Judge Tony, our awesome cameraman and photographer for the weekend. Got to give a shout out to Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Yes.
The unsung hero. And and the awesome security team running the door. Yeah.
All right.
The real hero. All right. Well, let's get to it.
All right.
Guys, Brad, would you like to kick it off, or are you like, I've got something so rad, I'm going to wait till the end?
Is this? Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm happy to go first. The first thing isn't part of what I'm entering, but it is in honor of last year. I had to get my own copy of Imagine Party Babies.
Okay, all right.
So this isn't part of my thing, but I just want everyone to know there are still very good condition copies of Imagine
nice.
Party Babies. Go pick it up.
Where'd you find that?
We will dedicate that to Dom.
Everywhere.
In the memory of Dom.
What? Imagine Party Babies.
If you don't know,
The previous
now
picture.
you know. Imagine party babies.
So I have 3 games. I managed to talk them down to $10 for all 3 because no one wanted these games anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Up first.
All right, Brad.
I have Chuck E. Cheese's party games.
Oh.
I want that actually.
Yes. Where a kid can be a kid. Or in French, la où on enfant peut être un enfant. 18 games in 1.
Nice. It's like the prequel to Five Nights at Freddy's.
The quality does look almost as good as a mobile game on the back, if you take a look.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I haven't checked, but it is in there, and it belonged to someone by the name of Fisher, maybe?
Fisher.
They loved it enough to put their name on it, so I'm going to pass this down for everyone to take a look.
Wow.
Brad, I want to cut you up. That game I almost got last time. That's
It's the same one you almost got.
I was eyeballing it.
Does it smell like the most horrible
If it
pizza
was
on earth?
from a certain vendor that I know, yeah. It might be this very copy that he still has.
The thing that still
you has.
really works for me about the Chuck E. Cheese characters is that it's a bunch of anthropomorphic animals, but there is also just an Italian guy, and his name is Pasquale P. Pie Plate, and it's kind of my favorite thing. And I feel like there's an alternate universe where I'm Pasquale P. Pie Plate, and
we're
just
your
living with them.
anthropomorphic animals.
Yes, you are. Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't we talk on a previous Dogcast that during the pandemic when things were closed, Chuck E. Cheese's open and they called it like Pasquale's Pizza?
Yeah,
on DoorDash.
They did, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely,
they wouldn't.
yeah.
People would never order Chuck E. Cheese pizza for their house, so they would get Pasquale's. But
okay,
all right.
So we have that.
Judges, this is evidence.
Evidence for the court.
Yep, evidence for the court.
That is the big,
to review
the big number. But my other items I picked up a copy of Big Mother Truckers for the original Xbox.
Dude.
Is that as good as Big Rigs?
I guarantee it's not as good as any other game out there. It just looks like a wholesome game about trucking and scantily clad folks from the South.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely never going to play it, but we do have it now.
At least I've actually heard of this game.
You've played?
I haven't played it. I don't know.
I own
Tom,
this.
You own this? Oh, okay.
I have played this game a lot as a kid. This and the Simpsons Hit and Run was a nice rotation for me.
Is it decent?
It's I mean, it's not bad.
It's exactly what you think.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Tom, don't lie to me. I've seen the posters in your bedroom.
But I can't believe you found this because this is like a blast for the
That's
past
it,
for me.
man.
Oh my God. Okay.
You're not allowed in my bedroom ever again.
Well, I helped you move, so.
It's the tagline in the back is "Keep it in the family."
Whoa.
So, do the total of these equal $10?
These two and the next one, the total I have.
Oh, there's another one.
There's one more that I negotiated down to $10.
Evidence for the court.
The coup de grace.
Now, this one is less like funny and like weird, but it is an oddity. This is the only PS2 game that didn't have the name on the spine.
What?
The only one that never included the title on the side. This is a very odd selection.
Whoa.
It's called City Crisis from Take-Two Interactive. It's a city on the brink of disaster, but I just thought it was very novel and that it doesn't have the title
Nagatomi
on
building?
the spine. And yeah, it looks terrible, but I just thought it was a unique thing to add.
Right.
It's on PlayStation 2. It can't be terrible.
It's like the game's equivalent of putting a paper bag on its head.
I'm looking at it, Josh. It looks kind of terrible.
It's a city crisis.
Where's Charles?
The city crisis. We're out of ink. Yeah.
It might as well be Die Hard, but then they just call Die Hard Bald Man Saves
It looks
People.
like the Nagatomi building. Yeah, it's got the helicopter spot.
Totally.
The fire.
All right, check out City
Shop,
Crisis
Yeah.
so you know exactly what we're talking about if you're listening to this or watching it. Hi, everybody. All right, well, thanks, Brad. These are Brad's submissions.
All right, evidence
Judge.
for the court.
All right, we're going to put this in the Brad pile. Next, Tyler, would you like to go?
Yeah, I didn't do the same method as Brad. I just got one game for $2.
All right, you did the right thing.
So,
Yeah.
Brad's always the overachiever here.
Yeah, really went above and beyond.
All right, Tyler, do you need a drum roll? The weirdest game that you found under $10?
Definitely the weirdest game I found under $10.
Okay.
Because I didn't even know this existed. It's called Pocket Bike Racer.
What?
It is a Burger King racing game.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the pocket?
I have no idea.
There's
And-
is this a race?
Pocket bikes
Is this
are
racing?
small motorcycles.
Yeah, those tiny little bikes that all the
Yeah.
cool kids rode around in
Like,
when I
is
was
there a
in
track?
elementary
Like-
school.
Okay,
There's
it's
a
not a
track
euphemism.
made of cheese.
No, wait. Did
Apparently.
you just
Made
say
in your
they were
pocket?
cool?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, they were cool.
How obscure.
Kids had motorized equipment. I had a bicycle. That's
all
cool.
No,
pocket
your
of a
sensibilities are just kind of nuts. They're off the wall. You said, "Oh, look, you know those little bikes where everyone looks so cool riding the tiny motorcycles? Are you like a fan of the circus too?"
Is this like
I was a very tiny child and I wanted to go fast.
Okay.
Like the Zor Schreiner Simulator, 2010.
You got that down to $2.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Is it
$2.
four-player?
Okay.
$2?
I think so. Yeah, $2.
Okay.
So well under the $10 price limit.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
So
That's less than a Whopper.
it comes with, there's stuff inside. I can give the
Wait a
gift
minute.
of beef.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure
Is it
this
still
isn't
good?
I don't think it's valid anymore.
When did it expire?
Load, use, reload works like cash, but probably not anymore.
My credit's not good enough.
Right.
Yeah. I almost forgot. 48-hour free Xbox Live Gold trial.
Whoa.
I have like 48 of those.
That's a relic.
That's like a conjugal visit.
I mean, that
Yeah,
alone's
Xbox
like
Live.
Took a lot of time.
that's worth like $2 alone. Just
Yeah, absolutely.
48 hours is sweet gold.
And I'm sure it's still good. All right. Tyler, let's put
Let's
this.
pass that down. Let
let's
everybody
pass
take
it
a
into
look.
Evidence. Everybody take a look at this.
Okay.
because- Thank you, Tyler. We'll put you right here.
Get ready, everybody. The Juniper Jester is coming.
Oh, Dylan has left the stage.
He's a really
he already
large
knows
object.
he's been defeated. Okay, no. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
Now, Your Honor.
Hey, George.
Dab my sweat. I present to you Garfield.
Wow.
And he's been to Hawaii. He wears a nice grass skirt.
Okay, yeah. It says Hawaii. Otherwise, I'd be like, what?
Now,
China, maybe.
I bartered him down and I cut his price in half. He was originally $20.
Jesus.
I don't know why he was $20. I can't fathom it.
So a stuffed Garfield with a hat.
Garfield and Company. And now
And a
if you
hula
notice,
skirt.
if you notice, it's still got the tag.
That's-
Garfield and Company.
Yep.
As you can see, here's Nermal,
Where?
So
who he tries to ship off to Abu Dhabi.
I know specifically where you got this. There is so many Garfield things at this stand.
Yes.
What made this specific one so enticing to you?
Oh, he's festive.
Is Garfield making a comeback? Did he ever go away? Does he still hate Mondays?
People
He
still
does
like lasagna,
still hate
right?
Mondays.
Yes,
he
still?
loves lasagna.
Okay.
He'll be voiced by what's his face from Jurassic Park?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt will
Yeah.
voice him in a movie sometime.
Now, I want the court, first of all, to notice his sleepy eyes.
Well, he's well rested from vacation, obviously.
Yeah.
He's relaxed.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got my chill, cool vibe attitude. And I'm just saying, look, you guys can't.
You don't have to convince me. You have to convince the judge.
Your Honor.
Is.
Oh.
It's been double checked for safety and quality if it makes a difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Bailiff, come on, man.
This is hearsay. All right.
He loves Garfield. And here he is.
Oh wow. All right. Tony, the co-judge, loves
Sounds
Garfield.
like,
This isn't looking good in Dylan's favor. I don't
No,
know.
it's looking great in my favor.
Just kidding. That is fantastic, though. Good job, Mr.
you.
Hoff. Josh,
Tom, thank you for saying my name.
you got it.
Jesus.
All right, so I got something that might be a little risque. It's a little,
Uh-oh.
little naughty, maybe. A little old-timey.
It's just a nude photo you took of yourself.
Right.
Kind of. I'm
Oh, boy.
guessing this is from a pinball.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
A long time ago. I'm gonna think the pinball's called.
You're going to think it? Or you know it?
The anticipation.
What is this? I don't know.
Oh, that's
this.
Slugfest.
Slugfest. Oh wow, this is Slugfest. That's a known name.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, that's a great game.
A naughty coach over there.
Point it over here.
And
That is
overly drawn.
Yeah. Where's that hand trying to go? Where he's trying to do like
it
the
could
slip.
go anywhere. If it went left or right, it's not good. I don't think. It kind of looks like art from our boy Brian Collin next door.
That dude looks like my
General
grandpa.
Chaos
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This art just stuck out to me. I don't know why.
That was less than $10.
And I didn't get a chance to look in the vendor hall, so I mean,
Yeah.
for not really.
Did you just rip that off a machine?
I think he might have.
I do
he
a
might
lot
have.
of things.
He
And-
disappeared for a
and I
while
paid-
today.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
$10 more like no dollars.
I paid $5 for this.
You paid $5?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is
Her,
worth.
her hat says Hooters
It
with a
was
Z.
worth 80% of that.
And he plays
And,
for the Buffalo Herd. He looks really scary. This guy is
Buffalo Herd?
I wouldn't want to be next to him.
I was figuring it was coming from a game called Baseball Perverts, but
Baseball Perverts.
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, she looks like she's, ready to
looks
play
very
a
vibrant and
game of
light.
baseball.
That is a standard
This is my
regulation
weird
uniform. nothing
triangular
to see
art
here.
piece.
Okay. That's actually a really good find, Josh.
I thought it was pretty neat, eh?
That's not so bad. I like that. Are you going to frame that?
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's
All
all
right.
up in the air. It's very early for me in this piece of art.
Point of order for the court. Mr. Thomas, do you have any evidence to present?
I do. Hang on a second. I'm sticking with the party game theme.
Oh, no.
But I'll tell you in a second. I'm just looking up something here. Please talk amongst yourselves.
Why are you doing this to us?
Because I'm a horrible person.
This is like,
blocking.
this is so unprofessional. You know what? Exactly.
All right. So I went with the Wii, a Wii game, because you have to do this.
It seems to be a
And
common theme.
Yeah, it really is.
The Wii has a lot of
tons of
games,
karaoke games,
questionable.
dance games. Okay, I hate them with a passion, intense passion.
Would it make
Tom, I
people
have
mad
seen you.
to
I've
say
seen
The
you
one thing I
sing to
hate
a
more than
void.
dance than anything in the world, almost,
is
Happiness.
the Wii itself?
is Kids Bop.
Oh,
I hate Kids
Okay.
Bop. Just, do you guys know what Kids Bop is?
Yeah, remember
Does
the
everyone know what
infomercial?
Kids Bop
I mean,
is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I have Kids Bop Dance Party, the video game, for the Nintendo Wii.
I didn't know
Are
that
we
was a
playing
thing.
this?
I mean, we could. It's fun for the whole family. You get moving with today's dance hits, but
Does it have a?
it has no track list on it
I was going to say
at all.
What do you think's on there?
So that's why I'm looking up.
Before I forget, my Slipknot better be a track.
So it has such kidified versions of
Right.
songs such as "Party in the USA."
Okay.
It's a banger, right? It has Axel F, the hit song from Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, that's a great song.
That's a deep cut.
Wait,
Is
dude,
there-
dude,
is there-
dude, 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 dude.
Is there even like lyrics to that?
No, I don't think so.
So what is this? Is this like Rock Band?
I think so, yes. Let It Rock, Don't Stop the Music, Party Like a Rock Star. It does have Katy Perry's Hot and Cold, which I think is one of the best pop songs ever written.
It's a good find.
It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's
But
solid.
Is it really that good?
yeah, it is, Dylan. So I submit to you, the court.
Only 24 dance hits? That's it?
Includes 24. Kids Bop,
Can you dance to it?
All right.
the dance party.
Yeah, can we get, can we get
Yep.
that down here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a little peek.
Absolutely.
We need to
Okay.
review it for quality.
Yep.
It looks
Is there even a disc in there? I didn't even check to see if the game's
There's
in
a
there.
disc, but it also looks like a dog chewed on the back of this thing.
That's a smart dog.
That usually is every Wii game.
This
Yeah.
is well traveled too. There's 3 different pre-owned stickers labeled on top of each other here. So
It's not
this,
a-
There's
lot of
soon to be
people- a lot
4.
of
this provided a lot of joy to a lot of families.
A lot of people took a lot of chances.
I can't really give you money for it, but I'll take
All right.
it.
Well, here we go. We have our selections here.
Your Honor, come to the stage.
Yep.
And Tony.
And Tony. Yes.
Yep.
Both of you. Okay.
In order.
Now we need deliberation.
Yep. In order, we have Brad's picks. We have Chuck E. Cheese, Bad Mother Truckers,
And these guys are here if you need
City
advice.
Crisis. We have.
So the competition is who could spend $10 to find the weirdest, oddest, most exciting, bizarre, off-the-wall craziness.
Most Garfieldy.
Not the most Garfieldy
No.
necessarily. So you two
Your Honor, point of order.
need to come to a decision on what you think is the weirdest, your selection for
Yeah.
the competition.
And this is really important.
Do you have any initial thoughts, Rachel?
I don't know. Garfield's kind of awesome. So you might be
You might be biased.
Well,
It's not weird, is he, Dylan?
It's not weird. That's
My
he's
pride-
pretty
my pride
He's
freaking
just
cool.
lazy.
So
You're
it's
gonna
not. It's
judge
not the
Garfield that
craziest
way?
thing up there.
He's not weird because he
Right.
goes to Hawaii.
And he likes
You're
lasagna.
the one wearing the shirt.
Who doesn't like lasagna?
I mean,
That's not weird.
from
Who
Hawaii.
wouldn't
already
want
do.
Garfield
Amazon?
in a grass skirt?
I mean,
I'd put it on my desk.
yeah, I mean, I'd take it to a luau. Sure.
That's-
Let's do it. Tony?
Tony, what jumps out to you? What do you find exciting up there?
Exciting as in good or bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, have some.
Do you need me to vamp for a while about Garfield?
Yeah.
No, I
As
love
a Southern
Garfield.
lawyer?
As a Southern,
I'm just really obsessed
you
with
are out of
this
order.
accent.
I'll do Al Pacino.
Sir,
You're out of order, sir.
Sir, I do declare I think you are out of line.
I don't care what you
The
think.
baseball thing is creepy, but it's also, I think, I don't know. Is it more of an adult game?
Is it turning you on?
Adult baseball?
No, I don't think it is.
No, okay.
No.
Then that adds
Anthony,
more
sure,
creepiness
yeah.
to it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is you two have a powwow amongst yourselves and
Yep.
come to a decision together.
Maybe
Deliberate.
listen
And
to
then we
them
all have a
guys.
fist
Yep.
fight.
Yeah,
They
everyone, if you have any arguments you want to make, yes.
Please-
so we're not
please help
gonna
out.
listen in on them. We don't want to
No, I
bias
know.
them. Put the money away, Dylan.
What?
Garfield was
worst
an
or
American
weirdest?
classic cat.
Oh, you're in the way, Brad. Come
Okay.
on. The jury cannot deliberate.
See,
Yep.
this is.
We have Waluigi/Sora.
So while we're
helping
waiting
us out here.
while we're waiting for court to get back in the session with the verdict.
Yes.
Soroigi.
Soraluigi, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
we have
yeah.
Soraluigi over here.
Oh, we can only hope in Kingdom Hearts 4 this does become a reality.
It will.
There we go.
Yeah. Very nice costume, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is all becoming like this conceptual idea of what's good in this world.
What, this?
You all chose something like ironic. You guys, like, I mean,
You're saying this is unironically like this is just something you think is great?
it's very, it's objectively
I thought
good.
the goal was to
Yeah.
be something weird.
I have thoughts, but I'm not going to try to influence the jury.
You know what? Who would have been perfect for this? Kate.
Yeah, because I'm confused now because I thought it was supposed to be something odd, not awesome. Otherwise, I would have bought Backyard Wrestling
No, it needs
for
to be
the Xbox.
No, it's not.
It has
awesome.
to be a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I think the idea here is what's the most Dogcast? What's the most interesting and what roles? What's fun? You know.
Right.
Go for it.
All right. The jury has requested one of the
contemplating, Tyler.
Yep.
one of the games
Take
to
a
look
look,
at
look as
closer.
long as you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Have it your way.
Yeah. As far
My
as
entire life and all my pride is riding on this.
You won last year.
I did not win. No, I did
everybody
not.
won last year.
We all won last year.
We all
Yes.
won because of Party Babies.
The jury is still out.
Well, I think Dom solidly won.
Guys, did you have a particularly panel that stood out that you watched either on this stage or participated in that was one of your favorites that you enjoyed the most?
You know what? I really liked the morning show format that we had earlier.
You
It
know,
actually turned out well.
I didn't know what to expect from that, but that actually turned out great because
Yeah.
we ended up having guest speakers on that one,
Yeah.
and it turned into a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think you dodged some questions on that one, though.
I definitely dodged a lot
Do we
of
have a
questions.
verdict here?
Oh, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a verdict.
All right. Who
Everybody
is
court
going
is
to
in
be
session.
nominated to come forward to talk? Soraluigi.
The
from Kingdom
foreman
Hearts 5.
of the jury.
Would you? Okay.
Jack.
That's fine, Jack.
Welcome, Jack.
So my name is Jack, and so I'm studying graphic design in college. So
Okay.
What college?
St. Xavier University in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Huh.
It's my second year here. So in terms of design, it's a tie between or a three-way tie.
Ooh,
This is not.
that's a hung jury.
Do I have to start putting this into fractions?
No, actually, no. I lied. Two-way. It's a two-way tie.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I have to go with Chuck E. Cheese's party games because it's like not that because all it is just random ass party favors.
You're not wrong. Yeah, and probably
Like
bad
I
ones.
said- Because like I said, I'm studying design, and then Pocket Bike Racer. It's mainly white in terms of the box terms of the box art, and then
Okay.
it's just like barely.
Okay,
any,
so we got-
barely any color.
So are you a Garfield sympathizer?
What do you mean, like a Garfield? Like
Do you like-
He's not Hitler.
Like these?
Don't listen to Tom. Don't listen to Tom. But from is this
It's like he called him like a Garfield sympathizer.
is
I
this a
don't
decision? A decision that was reached all together? You all agree on this tie?
No.
Absolutely Pocket Bike Racer.
Pocket Bike Racer.
Yes.
Not only does it
Absolutely.
have the king on there.
Jack, are you okay with this decision?
Think about this.
Okay.
They had a lady pose
Okay.
for this.
Pocket Bike Racer?
They-
Come on.
They
Oh,
said,
man.
"Hey, can you come in and do some modeling for us?" Yeah, sure. What's it for? We'll tell you later.
And then one shot, bam, you're done.
Right.
Oh, man.
All right, so Tyler, that's congratulations. Tyler is the winner.
Thank you.
You did
Thank
it.
you.
You did it.
Yeah, I had my.
Very impressed, Tyler.
Yeah. Your
Hey.
prize is you get to go to work
MGC.
now.
Yes, I get to go to a real life job. That is actually kind of a perk, though. No, that as you guys know, I looked for a while today. I took my time.
Yeah.
I went up and down, and this was definitely stuck out.
Pocket
And
Bike Racer?
I missed it like the first 3 times, but look at how
Look at
delightfully
that
weird it
girl.
is. That guy's wearing a
that
burger.
boy.
Yeah. You know, now I'm stuck with a Garfield.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to shout out. I
really
did
like
get
that. You
I
just
did get
got
an
to
extra
like
game
it.
in honor of our buds from Gaming Off the Grid. We talked about it yesterday. It's John Elway's quarterback football. I did find that for $6. Had to grab it. We'll be throwing it out probably post Haste. So it's not great. Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations, Tyler. Very
Thank
proud.
you.
Thank you to our awesome jury judges,
Good job, jury.
Jack.
You made the
Yeah.
right choice.
Good luck. Thank you for going to college, young man. I think that's it for us here
Absolutely.
at Midwest Gaming Classic 2022. It's been a banger. Man, this is really cool. Great to be back. And like you said, all the cool people that were here.
I
just
think
talking
the
to
city crisis looks awesome.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Brad will let you borrow it.
All right, last
he
final
won't.
thoughts from each of you before we sign off for real. Brad, do you have any final thoughts?
I'm just always happy to be at MGC.
Always.
Bigger next year, better next year, and you know, if anyone else finds weird games, just bring them to us, and we won't pay for them, but we'll gladly look at them with you.
Yeah, I think this is going to turn into an arms race for next year.
I love it.
Man.
Yeah, can we up
the
the budget to $11?
And we
That
will.
kind of ruins the
Nine.
point.
We are going to play some of these games at some point.
We will.
I
want this.
Will
Chuck,
we?
I want to play. We're going to play the Chuck E. Cheese
We are
ones.
going to play that.
Do you think Pasquale's got like a?
Can we play Kids Bop?
Oh yeah.
You have-
absolutely.
Okay.
We'll live
Do you have a
stream
Wii,
it.
Tom?
All right. Yeah, I do. And a Wii U, which is apparently one of the best consoles ever made.
That's what we learned.
Yep. Tyler.
No, this was awesome being my first MGC and podcasting live in front of people and not looking at Brad's cats is crazy.
Not being terrorized and bit by them. And
I do kind of miss Martin, like with his.
No, you don't. That cat's a terrorist.
He likes me.
Right?
He likes me. Brad can attest. He does like me.
He does like you, oddly.
Yeah, he does not like my brother. But no, I think MGC was a blast, and I'm already looking forward to the next one. This was a lot of fun, and I spent way too much money. So now I have to go
Welcome
to
to convention land.
my actual job to make that back up.
Right. Dylan, how about you, man?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree with everyone's sentiments. I had a really great time, and I look forward to it again. Yeah, I mean, I'm just here to party, dog. I'm a party dude.
You are.
I can see it in your Garfield.
Yeah, it's.
Your Garfield showing.
This is actually going to be my out. I'm actually going to wear this next year.
Put it on your dashboard.
Yeah, you're not gonna be one of those guys.
Oh, who are you cosplaying as? Oh, I'm Hawaiian Garfield.
And I have no like traits of Garfield.
greatest
I'm just
Garfield.
literally just wearing
Dude,
a.
you're just eating lasagna all day.
Why are you so itchy? You got any
Oh,
lasagna,
my stomach
man?
hurts, Brad.
Man, I hate Mondays.
Monday's like
Mr.
2
Miller,
days away.
Mr. Josh, Steel Battalion aficionado.
You know,
Steel
I mean,
Battalion Stallion. That's
Yes.
that's your new gamer tag.
You
Steel
know what needs to be
Bastallion?
said? You know, it's fun. It's a blast. Let's have some beers, play some games, have a good time. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's all you need. It's great.
Yeah.
We'll be back. You can run, but
Yep.
we'll be
But you
here.
can't ride.
Yeah. Precisely.
Yes. And for me, just being here is great. Like I said, having the stage here, being asked to run the bonus stage here at Midwest Gaming Classic, and to reunite with all you guys has been just a blast, and it really has tugged at my heartstrings. And
Well, come back.
I
You're
think I'm
welcome.
gonna have to drink
You're
some beer.
You're
you know?
welcome every Sunday.
Yeah, and thanks again to
Yeah.
Midwest
Did
Gaming
you hear
Classic.
that? He loves it.
Major big thanks to Tom.
Absolutely,
Tom did
Tom.
all the work for the stage.
Everyone,
and
yeah.
he's
Oh,
a hero. Everyone,
stop.
give it
You
up
guys-
for Tom. Give it up for Tom.
Go home, you're drunk. But
No,
well, Thank you. You know you guys...
Not yet,
help
we
a lot.
aren't.
Yes, that's later. All right, well, signing off from Midwest Gaming Classic, we've been Hair of the Dogcast. You can check us out where?
You can find us on Instagram at Hot Dogcast. We're on Facebook, Hair of the Dogcast. Twitter, at Hot Dogcast. We're on all of them. You'll find us. Trust me.
It. Yeah.
And yeah, we release episodes every week. You can find us on all the major podcast apps. And definitely check them out. We'll be posting all of these videos and audio episodes throughout the next 2 weeks once I sleep for a little while.
Yep, a nap is definitely in order.
And
with
a break
Garfield.
from drinking for a while.
We'll
3
see.
days
Yeah.
worth.
We'll see.
All
right.
Your shit together,
Also,
Brad.
thank you to our judges.
Thank you to
Yes,
the judges.
judges,
Y'all were the best
Tony,
judges ever. Sorowici, that
Jack.
guy.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I love that guy.
Tom.
Tom.
His name is
I
Jack.
got you.
His name is
From
not
now on, you're known as
That guy's
Tom
cool,
number
though.
1.
Yes.
Yes.
And
This is
to
Tom.
security, thank you very much
Yeah.
for
Y'all are the best.
putting up with all these people walking in and out.
Yes.
I feel really grateful you're here.
You protected us, and we acknowledge that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, till Midwest Gaming Classic 2023.
Yeah.
We've been here at the Dogcast, and we will see you later.
We love you.
Adios.
All right. See you guys. Yeah, good hustle. Good hustle.
Make room for huge plays with the HyperX Alloy Origin 65 mechanical gaming keyboard and the Pulsefire Haste wireless mouse. The Alloy Origin 65 has a functionally compact form factor, keeping the arrow keys without the number pad and function keys. The Pulsefire Haste is the lightest wireless mouse from HyperX, featuring a robust connection, up to 100 hours of battery life, and is even water resistant. The Alloy Origin 65 and Pulsefire Haste Wireless keep your setup clean and clutter-free with the Alloy Origin 65 mechanical keyboard and the Pulsefire Haste wireless mouse.